Hello everyone, today I want to show you the transformation of this small kitchen, or rather kitchenette, from a rural home in an industrial style kitchen. There is a difference between a kitchen and a kitchenette. A kitchen is a separate room fully equipped with all the standard cooking appliances, stove, oven, refrigerator, and possibly a dishwasher. A kitchenette is a smaller version of a kitchen. It may feature smaller appliances, limited appliances, or just the basics, like a refrigerator and a microwave. But, before starting with the transformation of the kitchen, let me show you the 3D model of the rural house. I made this design a couple of years ago. I honestly don't remember the date well, but it's definitely one of the first designs I made as a professional. I love the formal composition of this model. It was a challenge for me as a designer, because I had to make a rural house in a quite reduced space that did not exceed 800 square feet. In addition, the structural and spatial composition of the housing should be designed in such a way that it can be built in stages. You could build the social area independent of the rooms and vice versa. What I did was to decompose the model in two modules and join them with a central integration space that would provide light and ventilation to the whole structure. The result was a central corridor that serves as an articulation between the two modules. I love the lighting that is produced in this space. As for the materials used, I used a combination of wood, stone cladding, and some touches of glass in some elements, so by adding steel elements to the kitchen we would already have a balanced design with an industrial appearance. Well, let's get down to business. Let's see the kitchenette. As you can see, it's a totally basic design: wooden cabinets, a microwave, a built-in 30-inch stove. It also left a space to the left for a fridge. We are going to start by removing the dining room from the center. It is totally non-functional due to the narrow space. I am also going to reduce the gap that communicates to the rooms so as to give a little more space to the kitchenette wall. I will leave the normal width of a door, which is 90 centimeters or 35 inches. The cladding material on the kitchen wall doesn't seem appropriate to me either. It was supposed to be edged natural stone, but using this material indoors has certain negative aspects, especially in the kitchen. The first thing is, these stones, in reality, don't offer a totally level surface in the construction. This represents a problem when placing cabinets. Another aspect to take into consideration is the porosity of these stones. They are quite porous. The porous surfaces in the kitchen should be totally limited, as they could be a focus of accumulation of bacteria. Even, the same wooden elements should be limited for this reason. For the back wall material, I decided to put a light-colored Venetian plaster, to add a minimalist and modernist touch that contrasts with the rustic style. In addition, the plaster is a very easy to clean material, and not having joints is much less susceptible to accumulation of bacteria. Now let's see the design of the kitchen in plan. This is the original design, and next to it I'm working with the design I want to have. I'm trying to optimize the spaces as much as possible. Here in the corner is generated a useless space. I want to take advantage of this space by making a corner cabinet. So I'm going to move the sink and put it next to the stove. I'm leaving a separation space of at least 60 centimeters. I usually like to put the sink between the refrigerator and the stove, to create a fluid work sequence, but in tight spaces, I can afford to vary this position to get better use of the space. For these types of cottage kitchens, it is also essential to include a pantry area, as generally these houses are used for holidays and weekends. People always arrive with food purchases for those days made. In this corner, I am generating another dead space. I would like to take advantage of it by making space for the pantry. I must make sure to leave adequate space for circulation. Regularly, I like to leave from 80 centimeters to 1 meter in the corridors of separation. When they are spaces of double circulation, I leave 120 centimeters of separation. A perimeter wall pantry could give you the benefit of a less humid pantry, because the wall could receive more direct sunlight. Excess humidity affects fresh foods, nuts and dried fruit. Avoiding this will keep the food in the pantry. The sunlight works as a natural anti-dampness, and will manage to keep the humidity level at an optimal level. I would also like to include some hanging lights on top of the breakfast bar. As the roof of the house is quite high, I'll put a 20 centimeter beam parallel to the cooking line and aligned to one of the edges of the breakfast bar. Once defined the design in Plant, I am going to import the design that I realize in Plant to my model in 3D. The design in Plant is the definite pattern that will guide the design, but the 3D model can give us a vision but real of the relations of the spaces in different dimensions, therefore, could improvise with some decisions in the model 3D, although when in the design process it is not recommendable to improvise, but is much better to take decisions in the preliminary project. This is the result of the design in 3D model. You can interact with some of the elements. Some of the elements I downloaded from the 3D Warehouse SketchUp page. The folding of the upper cabinets, I made them with vertical opening. This is a good option in reduced spaces. Next to the sink I included a trash basket. It's quite practical. Under the breakfast island I also put some cabinets to store dishes and other utensils. The black exposed beam is a signature touch of industrial style design. The hanging lamps I included are black Barton. On top of the sink I decided to put a shelf. The shelf is a 36-inch advanced Tabco pot hanger. The pot hanger causes a cut in the visual sequence of the kitchen, so I made another alternative with the sink placed on the right. The advantage of this proposal is that besides having a visual continuity in the kitchen cabinets, we also isolate a little bit the sink area of the kitchen, avoiding in a bigger way any kind of cross-contamination. This type of design can be easily replicated, as if it were a module. Here I am adjusting the same kitchen design to another model of rural house that I made, similar to the previous one, but a little more spacious. This model has a small dining area. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, press like if you like the video, share, and don't forget to activate the notification bell. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. Thanks for your attention.